You probably think you're on the right track, studying, working hard, collecting certificates, slowly climbing up. But what if I told you that this growth might actually be taking you further away from the life you wanted to live? What's hidden behind the success that seems right, but in reality is breaking you inside? Spoiler, there's a specific reason you feel tired even when you're doing everything right. And no, it has nothing to do with laziness. By the end of this video, you'll find out what CEOs, genius artists, and even Zen monks know, but never told you. And once you discover it, you might never look at your life plan the same way again. Do you remember that kid who used to doodle in his notebook during math class? The one who dreamed of making movies, writing books, creating things. He grew up. Today, he spends 9 hours a day in front of a screen, copying spreadsheets, answering emails, tweaking things he doesn't even believe in. But everyone applauds, the boss praises him, his parents say he's made it. His salary increased, his routine became stable. And inside, silence. A silence that screams, that asks every day, is this it? And the worst part is, he convinces himself that everything's fine. After all, this is what adult life is, right? Commitments, bills, maturity. But what if it's a lie? What if all this stability is just a disguised cage? Because when he closes his eyes, that kid is still there. But now, he doesn't doodle anymore. He calculates risks. He thinks about retirement. He's afraid. And the biggest fear isn't even failure. It's realizing that maybe he already gave up. The truth is, most people don't live, they obey. They obey a plan they never questioned. They chose a college at 17, a job at 22, a lifestyle at 30. And when they realize it, they've become perfectly functional parts of a system that was never made for them. You know what the problem with this is? The body starts to charge. The mind starts to sabotage. The energy disappears. The person even tries to adjust, buys productivity books, starts waking up at 5 a.m., does intermittent fasting, meditates, runs, takes cold showers. But nothing changes inside, because you don't fix a broken compass by speeding up. If your north is wrong, any step you take only pulls you further from where you wanted to be. And here's the twist. The tiredness you feel might actually be your body trying to save you, trying to warn you, pulling you back to a path you abandoned without even noticing. It's not burnout. It's not laziness. It's sabotage. You've created a life where there's only room for efficiency, and you unknowingly killed the space that fed your soul. Silence, article creative boredom, play, uncertainty. And here's the omen. If you keep forcing that machine, there will come a time when it simply stops. And it won't matter how much coffee, spreadsheets, or motivation you try to pour into it. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and Auschwitz survivor, wrote something that dismantles much of modern thinking. When a person cannot find a deep meaning for their life, they distract themselves with pleasure. Replace pleasure with productivity, and you've got the disease of our generation. Distraction has become a disguise. Cal Newport, a computer science professor, talks about deep work. But he's not just talking about focus. He's talking about meaning. About putting your energy into something that has value to you, not to LinkedIn. Psychologist Carl Jung was even more direct. The person who looks outward dreams. The one who looks inward awakens. But the current system teaches the opposite. We learn to look outward from the cradle. Grades, likes, results, expectations, applause. The tragedy? You might even win this game and still feel empty. I'm not here to motivate you. I'm here to remind you of what you've forgotten. Subscribe. There's more coming. You know what no one tells you? That there are people who work less, ignore all the best practices, and still live more aligned, more creative, and lighter than you. And it's not because they're more talented. It's because they made a choice you still haven't had the courage to make. Stop following other people's map. Remember that boy who used to doodle in his notebook? He hasn't disappeared, trapped in some cell of your chest, watching you fill out spreadsheets as if it's some self-imposed punishment. And here comes the question that unlocks everything. Who is this success you're chasing for? To please your father, who never validated you? To prove something to that teacher who said you were mediocre? To convince your friends that you've made it in life? Or just to silence that inner voice that asks every day, what if I had tried? The whole world screams discipline, but maybe what you need is disobedience. Disobey the script, disobey the algorithm. Disobey this narrative that success is only about climbing, 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 even though you don't even know where to anymore. There's a quote from Naval Ravikant, a Silicon Valley investor, that seems counterintuitive. He says, "The goal of life is not to work. The goal is to become free." But freedom isn't about working on a laptop on the beach. Freedom is being able to say no, is having the clarity to refuse a path, even if it seems right to everyone else. And here's the second collapse of your narrative. You're trying to fit into a system that rewards exactly the opposite of who you are. You're creative, but they trained you to repeat. You're sensitive, but they taught you to silence it. Now take a breath. Think calmly. What if the biggest mistake wasn't failing, but hitting the bullseye on a goal that was never yours? The success you're chasing might be, unintentionally, burying your true calling. This discipline you idolize might be sabotaging your intuition. And this life plan you defend with so much pride, maybe it's just a defense against the fear of trying again. What's left for you if everything you've built was based on denial? Maybe the greatest act of courage isn't to keep going. Maybe it's to stop pleasing, stop following, stop pretending it doesn't hurt. And here comes the final point, which might just be the real beginning. What would happen if, for just 1 month, you stopped trying to be useful and started being real?